What's up, y'all? This is Ramel Watley, and welcome to Truckin Hustle, the podcast for trucking entrepreneurs. If you want to learn about the trucking industry from the business side of things, you're in the right place. Every week, I interview the people who are making it happen on a daily basis. I get them to share their successes, their failures, and sometimes even their secrets. The goal is to show you how you too can create financial freedom in the booming trucking industry. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Visit your website, DM people that you think may have had something to do with them. Date the person. Date the person, date the person, date the person. I'm a big advocate of that. You know, you wouldn't go start a family with somebody you don't know. And
Right.
This is what it is. You're joining their family. You're joining their community. You're joining their Facebook group. You're joining their platform. You're joining their product. So, and I take people's money very serious because I understand you go to work for that money.
Turn my mic up. Take there. Yeah. On the road to the riches. Life takes a toll like bridges. Good friends become foes and snitches. Better watch who knows in your business. Well, listen, man. For the people who don't know yet, I am here with my man Truckin Justin. We just saw each other in ATL, which was dope. You know what I'm saying? First time I had the pleasure of meeting you. Let's get started because I was just kind of thinking about that in my mind, man. Like, we're both in ATL for a trucking event. Like, what'd you think about that vibe, man, in Atlanta? Talk to me about
That was a cool vibe, man. And you know, the whole reason I went just was for networking, man, and just see what's going on in this community. It's good to get out. It's good to meet each other, man. And you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who you're gonna run across. And specifically with us and what we do, it's great to network. You never know. Like me and you met each other just by DMing, man, and then we exchanged numbers and we started talking. And pretty much for anybody that's in the industry on Instagram that's dealing with trucks or dealing with investments of trucks, I talk to them frequently, on a every day, every couple week basis. And it's just good I'm about community and I'm about adding value to the community. So anything dealing with us and what we're doing with trucks or the podcast, or just like I called you the other day, I was talking about connecting you with somebody else. And it's just that network, man. We all got to work together. We all in this together. So I love working with people. I love meeting people. And I just love giving out that positive energy about what we're doing.
So dope. How do you think the environment has changed from when you first kind of got into the game, at least on the influencer side of things? You know what I mean? When you first started coming to the gram and started like giving value to the people, how do you think things have changed or evolved from then to now?
I see things as everybody's platform is getting a little more professional. You know, everybody's content is getting a little more, professional services are being added. So I see it as going into more from the lonely independent operation to looking like we're an incorporated operation,
Okay.
Even with what I was doing initially, there was no logo, there was no shirts, there was no features, there were no intros into some of the things, and there were no digital products. That's become a lot of what's going on too. So I like the way the industry is going. I like that everybody's kind of getting more involved with what they're doing, and I love that we're all networking.
Super dope, super dope. All right, well, let's get into it, man. You know, on the Truckin Hustle show, man, we're all about backstory. You know, we wanna see how people have gotten to where they are currently. You know what I mean? So tell me about your story, man. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Tell me about yourself.
I'm from Miami originally, born and raised in Miami. I moved up into Broward County around like elementary, middle school, but I'm back and forth from between Broward and Miami. How I got started in the industry was just bought a truck, didn't really know much. All I knew was that you get a truck and it could make money. And the original way that I started was I bought a 2011 Freightliner. And shout out one of my good friends, Pocky over at Hood Estates.
Shout out to Hood Estates.
Got involved with trucks just because of dealing with Hood Estates, and I was dealing with them on a tax deed rental.
Okay.
So, they say date the person you're around, date the person before you do business, and we used to always meet up, and just hearing him always talk about trucks. He's like, "Oh, I got a truck. And the whole time, after 6 months of hearing this, I'm thinking he means he got like a Chevy Silverado, I'm sitting next to a F-250. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, well, what are you doing with this truck? He's like, no, I got a semi.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I asked him, I said, man, can I learn more or less how you're making money with the truck? And he told me. And this is where, if somebody's serious about it, they take advantage of the opportunity.
Mm.
If you want to learn trucks, if you want me to show you what I'm doing and how I'm making money with the trucks, if you show me that you're willing to learn and go actually buy a truck, I'll show you.
Mm.
So I went the next day. I started commercial financing on a truck. And as I said, guys, I didn't know necessarily what I was doing. I've been doing this now about 3 years. So I've grown from one truck to 3 trucks, and I've gone from doing it the lease way to doing it the authority way. Now I've kind of run a truck every way you can run a truck and made money from trucks every which way you can. So, and this goes back to what? Networking. This goes back to ideal sharing. So when I got the truck, it was just, okay, let me just take baby steps.
Right.
Let me learn. I took it. I went the lease way. I learned that, and what I did in between all of that is I just took time to learn, gather, and understand. I suffered, some 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 mishaps with my truck because I didn't know. But
Okay.
what that did was give me the ammunition to go learn. And thus forth, over my 3 years, I put in the hours of like as if I'm going for a PhD in this. I've studied this through and through. And my whole thing wasn't necessarily just to understand the business. I had to be able to carry a conversation with anybody in the business,
Mm.
or being a dealership to a mechanic. Right now, I'm at my mechanic shop.
Okay.
And I'm actually, the reason why I'm in the car is because I'm out on the field.
Mm.
So, just to give guys a quick, I know we're doing the visuals, but to give guys the quick, I'm actually at a dealership. I mean, at a mechanic shop right now.
Right.
So you're not talking to somebody who sits in the house and does this. You're talking to somebody who's out in the field. I'm out right now as we speak, doing what I need to do for my business to further what I'm doing. So, when I got in the trucks, it was just a lease way.
Mm.
And that's just, get a truck, get a driver, go to a company. They do everything. What I learned over the years was how to increase your profit margins, because it's not that the freight's going to pay more, it's that your profit margin can be more. So you take home more for each load.
Mm.
So, initially when I started my Instagram, which is how 99% of the people follow me, I do have some interviews on YouTube, but majority of people that follow me started following me from Instagram, and it was just posting. And I just felt it was important for our people to be able to see what's what. And this is how I met Ramel here, Truck and Hustle.
There we
From
go.
IG, man. From IG. I love to get them DMs, man, and just reach out. And I didn't know trucks were going to take off to the degree that they took off. I
Right.
just thought, I was going to make a post and it was just going to go a little bit and that'd be it. And I started
Right.
getting questions. And then I started realizing, okay, our people need to learn this. Our people need to understand. So, I say, man, I know so much about trucks that I feel like I can start teaching people to give knowledge, because it is a worthwhile investment.
Mm.
Something that can make money if you look at my account, my business makes money every day. Every day I drop a load is every day I get paid.
Right.
So of course there are carrying costs of owning a business and carrying costs of running trucks, but this is a very profitable business to get into. This is something that, just like anything, you're gonna have goods and bads. If you go into real estate, you might not be able to rent out your property. If you go in the rehabbing and holding on to it and reselling it and fixing it up, you might not sell it in the first 30 days. Everything has a carrying cost associated with it.
Right.
I just find that running freight, it has more profit to it than losses. So
Gotcha.
it's just important for us to get that information in any industry. My Instagram is set up so I can teach you guys. I can get you guys to the point to where you understand equipment. You understand kind of what a freight bill looks like. I have maintenance bills up there. I'm very transparent. The good, the bad, the ugly. It isn't just going to be one thing with me. I don't just post all my positive stories. I post some of my negative stories also, to give you guys an understanding of what's going on.
Right. Got you. That's a dope story, man. So you said you basically you were working with Pocky on a tax deed situation, so real estate stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you basically, he was telling you about the trucks or whatever, that piqued your
It's
interest
not
a
even,
little bit.
he wasn't even telling me. He just kept saying something about a truck, man. like a truck, and it went on. You hear somebody say something so much,
Right.
like me and you talking, you're like, what truck are you
Right.
talking about?
And at that time, yeah, as far as trucking to you is just like, you're oblivious to everything that's going on in that industry.
Didn't even know we can own trucks.
Got you.
You or I could go and get a truck.
That's dope. And at this time, Hood Estates hadn't really established themselves as like the leader that they are now in the industry, correct?
No, not at all, man. It was no At that time. It was no truck stuff over there, man. It was,
Got you.
when I went through the process, it was before any digital product ever came out.
Got
From
you.
anybody now, from
Right.
anybody on Instagram, there was nobody had a digital product.
Got you.
Or
Got you.
teaching
Got you.
trust. It was just word of mouth. It was, getting on the phone, shaking hands, getting information, calling people. I used to call companies and question their dispatchers. I used to call companies and question the bill of lading process lady who sends out the settlements. I
Right.
used to question their recruiters on what they're looking for.
Right.
I'm always in pursuit of more knowledge. So
Got
I
you.
would literally call companies like JB Hunt. I would call companies like Landstar, and I would make it sound like I'm thinking about coming over there. Anything to get more information. I was like, oh, I'm kind of worried about how you guys are going to dispatch my truck. You guys got a dispatcher I can talk to?
Right.
And they'll transfer you over to that department, and I'll kind of pick his brain and see what he knows, because information to me is worth more than what a truck does. That knowledge and the sustainability of knowledge can keep you going further in any business to any proceeds that business is going to make.
Got you. Got you. Got you. All right. Though, what were you doing before you got into the tax deeds and all? Like, what was your career path, or what were you into?
My actual career path, which I run 3 trucks, and I have 2 under the authority. I got one right now, just kind of doing whatever.
No. Before
My
that, like before you got into trucking, period. Like, were you into like the real estate stuff? That's what your
Well,
interest
all
was.
right, I got my money through real estate.
Oh,
I
okay.
sold
Got you.
a
Got you.
couple
Got you.
properties, and it wasn't like quick turnaround. I lived in them. I sold one house, 29,000. I profited from that. I
Okay.
sold another house and lived in that thing exactly 24 months. I made 52,000
Oh,
off
dope.
that one
Dope.
house. So what
Okay.
happened was I had this amass of money now, and I was looking to get into something, looking to maybe get a rental or looking to do something of that nature. And I just so happened to have stumbled on trucks.
Dope. Dope. All right. So tell me about that first truck, man. That first purchase. Take me through those steps, man. Tell me just the emotions that you went through. Talk about it a little bit.
The first truck, man, it was just a learning process. It wasn't like, for me, I don't have a personality of fear. And
Okay.
this is something that you have to get into, as you already know, in any industry, right? As our people, we get so caught up on the fear factor. Oh, this can happen. Oh, that could happen. Oh, if I do this, this is gonna break. Man, I didn't go into it in any of that mind state, man. I went into it just commercial finance. I did whatever the commercial officer was asking me to do, and
Okay.
I was quick about it. That's
Okay.
something you have to be intentive on what you're doing. I operate on intention.
Okay.
So I intend to get this loan, so I have to execute this loan quickly. So something I found that really helped me was just building myself with a commercial loan officer, doing exactly what he's asking and just asking him questions and going through the process with him. When they tell you to send something back to him, it only takes me an hour,
Mm.
regardless of if I was at home sitting on the couch or if I'm at work. If I'm at work, I'll send it to you tomorrow, 8 a.m. I'll have it to you before you open your doors for business. And this way, these guys see that you're serious, because keep in mind, they got 10 other loans on them. And 9 of those guys necessarily ain't sending back the paperwork as fast as you are. So now
Right.
you become the main objective of their intention, of their attention.
Mm.
And you get your loan executed quick. You get your loan processed out quicker.
Got you.
And my initial process, my personality, I didn't have any fear. Yeah, I have more fear of not doing something and finding out what's involved with it and the potential money that I can make than doing it. I'm scared of not doing things. I'm scared of just staying stagnant and not progressing and not stepping foot out there. It can work, it cannot work, but you'll never know unless you try.
Right. Right. Right.
So the process for me, honestly, was easy. And I always tell our guys, like, I have my digital product for sale out there. I have a course called I Have the Authority.
We gonna get
And
we gonna get fully into that. We gonna get
and
fully
I'm gonna
into that.
just tell you, like, the guys that DM me, they're like, well, what's the hardest process? And you would think that it's getting the commercial equipment. You would think it's getting the truck. It's not. Um, to me, the hardest part is finding a responsible driver. You're gonna get drivers that
Mm.
DM you like crazy, that reply to your ads like crazy. I know one guy put out an ad, and he's around northern Florida. He's had about 20 people, respond to that only 2 ads that he's put out.
Right.
And it's not that the process is going to be difficult. It's just making sure you learn what you need to learn. And for me, in order for me not to be fearful of what I was doing, was by way of learning. As long as I was learning and understanding what was going on, The only time fear comes is when you don't know what's next.
Right.
So I'm big on knowledge. I'm big on reading. For people that do know me, they know I do try to always read a lot. I do try to watch a lot of videos. I network like crazy, and it's just to find out more information.
Dope.
That's mainly it. So
Dope. Well, let's talk about that. You said finding a responsible driver. So obviously you're not a CDL driver, right?
no,
You don't.
I don't own a CDL, and I'll tell people also I do this on top of being a single father, and I work a career. So my career actually has me traveling. So
Dope.
which goes hand in hand. So if I got to go do something for my truck, I don't have to go out of town often. Normally I do everything from home, but I do all three of these things and still run these two trucks now.
Got you. Got you.
So,
So what were the steps you took to find your first driver? So let's talk about that.
I just put out an ad, man. And, by way of any numerous ways of putting out an ad, I just structured an ad. I put out an ad and just seeing what was out there. And I remember like the first conversation I had with one of the first drivers, I had gained so much knowledge that in just that month or two of getting up to that process, I was excited about it. I
Right.
was like, I was hungry, man. I was ready for that phone call. I'm
Right.
about to eat this man up with so much knowledge, he's not gonna question if he should drive my truck. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. And just exchanging information, man. These drivers, when you get drivers, they're gonna question you. They're gonna see how much knowledge you have. They're going to throw acronyms at you. They're going to kind of see what you're doing and why you're doing it and how can they profit from it or whether they can take advantage of it. That's in any industry. If I'm building houses, I need to know everything about building houses. If I'm, baking cookies, I got to know everything about the ingredients to bake a cookie in the process.
Right.
You can't take advantage of me if I have the knowledge. And so much of what's going on in our communities is because we lack knowledge. And I refuse to fall prey to that.
Got you. So as an owner, what do you think are some of the important things that you need to offer your drivers so that they can feel comfortable working for you?
Take pride in them. First off, man, have that admiration for your drivers because I have the biggest respect for drivers because they're actually leaving home and they're going for extended amount of times. They're, driving a semi truck is not easy. I know it may look easy if you just think about it, but you're driving a road train. You're driving something that's, difficult to stop. You're driving something that's difficult to steer. The first part of anything in any relationship or business is respect. If you show them you respect them and you appreciate what they're doing, they're very receptible, to accepting your energy and accepting your ideals. And I always tell these guys, I'm not your boss. That's most important. I have them where they call me, hey, boss. No, I don't like to be called boss. We're working together on this, although we're both adults. You understand you're in my truck. That's my truck. You're going to do what I say, but it's not on the premise of, oh, I'm your boss and you're my employee. No, man, it's not like that. It's that respect foundation. So secondly, show these guys that you pay. Guys love to know that their money's going to come. Never short them. Overpay them. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds foolish, but you got to be able to show these guys that you're serious about the money. And no matter what's going on with you, you could suffer a loss that week, but let them know that their money's coming. Never fear. People will stay with you past the terms of when they were supposed to stay with you because they know you're dependable. And this is just anything in life. We stay under our mothers because we know they're dependable. We stay under our wives because we depend on them for certain things. That being reliable is the most important thing with these drivers. Be what you say you are when you say you're going to be it and keep them paid. Keep information flowing back and forth. A lot of these guys like to call. They love to just talk. You're going to hear about their children. You're going to hear about home. You're going to hear about ma and pa. You're going to hear about everything. What does it cost to just listen for 10 minutes?
Right.
Include yourself in that person's world, and it builds the respect foundation. Take their opinion on certain things. When I'm booking out a truck, I kind of ask my guys, like, hey, you got a place you want to go to? You want to go see your brother in Dallas? You know what I mean? Be flexible. Like, I don't necessarily have a set schedule for off days.
Right.
I got a guy, he wants to stay out there 2 weeks. I got another guy, I try to get him home every 10 days, every 7 to 10 days. So, have your rules in effect. Tell these guys exactly what you expect. I expect for the truck to be running 10 days, 7 days. If you go home, you can only take 2 days off if you only do 7 days. If you do 10 or more days, I'll be open in 3 days. The truck really cannot not be running for 4 days or whatever the case may be. Whatever you're going to pay them, whatever you expect on schedule, just be very transparent. Transparency is the key to success, because you can't say you didn't know.
Right.
You can't say I didn't tell you. If you start doing anything outside of what I asked you to do, then now we have a discrepancy, because now you have already been warned and you got the information initially of what I expected. So there is no ifs, ands, or buts about what's going on. And that makes it easier to release a guy. Because when you got to call them, hey, man, I've had this issue with you. I've had that issue with you. You're just not working out for what I need. And find a guy that's going to fit your situation, your operation.
Got you. Dope. So at what point did you know it was time to start expanding the fleet?
I wanted to touch more money. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it. I like that. That's a real answer right there.
Yeah, I mean, and excuse me, most guys that follow me, man, I'm a Miami guy, man. I'm never gonna be nothing other than what I am. I'm always gonna tell you the truth.
Dope.
So, when I knew I wanted to expand is when one truck started exceeding what I make in a career, in 1 week net. And I started looking at that, and I mean, you got to kind of know what you want to take on, because this industry, having 2, 3, 4 trucks may not be for everybody. Only having 1 truck may be for one person. Just know and operate once again on intention. Get into this with the intention of doing what you want to do. If you know you only intend to own 1 truck, master 1 truck. Be brilliant at owning 1 truck. If you know you want to own 10 trucks, be brilliant at owning 5, so 5 can get you to 10 to 15.
Right.
Operate on intention. If you want to get the knowledge, go out there and get the knowledge, understand, learn. I hate guys that try to do this and they do it on a half ambition, half effort kind of scenario. But then you'll come to a guy like me that's doing it on 200% intention and 200% effort and 200% scenario, and tell me about your problems and doing it at 50%. And it doesn't mix. It doesn't mix. I don't like to be in a crowd with guys who are half-assers. I don't even want to, deal with nobody that doesn't want to give it 100%. So just in order to expand, first get your knowledge, then master what you're doing, then expand.
Got you. So how long did it take you to expand?
Took me, and actually I held off. Took me 1 year, because I was just like, I'm just gonna do this, and I'm gonna run the truck, and I'm just gonna see what happens, and kind of just get my feet wet and get stable. Right. I mean, and this is a part of business. You're not going to go out and build 14-unit apartment building. You're going to go build the 2-unit.
Right.
Build that, get comfortable with the idea of building, and then you're going to build the 4, then the 6, then the 8, and then you max up to the 14. It's baby steps with everything. And oftentimes I see a lot of guys, they come out and they jump out and they get 3 trucks. You don't have 3 truck knowledge. You got, 1 truck knowledge at the end of the day. And I'm not discouraging anybody from jumping out there. If you got the funds to do it and you feel like that's what you want to do, I more than welcome you to do it, because I want to see you win. I'm about the people. I'm about seeing everybody get what's theirs. There's enough in this industry to go around.
Right.
So, yeah. That's when I knew I needed to expand. When I seen what it was, and I seen that I wanted to touch more money.
Got you. Talk to me about some of the failures you had, man. Some of the difficulties, getting started in the game. Like you said, you didn't know anything at all. You pretty much got in there. You were green, and you had to learn as you went along. Talk to me about some of those failures.
Some of my failures were just maintenance on the truck, man. Maintenance, understanding when you call a random shop and they got your truck, right? Because sometimes this truck may have an issue that you can't get it to your normal mechanic. And you're hearing what they're talking about, and you start having work done on the truck, and then you learn later on maybe that was something that you could have held off on. But this goes back to basic knowledge. So that's what kind of forced me to want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Fluent in the language.
Gotcha.
You can't just tell me XYZ costs this and that. If I overpay for it, there's a reason I overpay for it. So you got to be able to understand. So that's was one of the failures at the beginning, just understanding mechanical costs, understanding what these actual parts on these trucks are. Some of these parts are very expensive to get a hold of. Some of them are readily available. And you got to understand what brand, what manufacturer is normally the most accessible parts. Learning cash flow, that's big. Cash flow will break you or make you. So I always with me working a career, in my case, I don't necessarily have to touch truck money.
Mm.
So you just save and save and save. Understand taxes at the end of the year. Get you a tax professional that understands, and get you a bookkeeper if you can. If you can find an affordable bookkeeper where you send them all your gross and you send them your net and you send them all your costs, they give you a P&L sheet of what's what. That's something that I found helps me understand really what you're doing, because you could think you're profiting and then get your numbers and realize, I didn't really profit as much as I thought that I was. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right, for
So
sure.
that was a failure, where that's where I learned, okay, it's not that I have to know how to do everything, is that I have to know how to employ everybody that knows what I need. So
Mm.
get you a good tax guy. That matters at the end of the year. Get you a great mechanic. Right now, I'm at my mechanic shop right now. And just get you guys that you can learn from,
Mm.
guys that you can understand from. So um, my process of buying the truck went easy. My first truck, I did have some problems like mechanical failures, but you work through that. I call it knocking the dust off of it. You
Okay.
just got it. So you're knocking the dust off of it. That truck ain't used to going, 3,000 miles on a week. It might have been sitting on that dealership for a year.
Right, right.
So little things are gonna happen. You just gotta put yourself in the best situation. And anything that I do in life, I never put myself at a disadvantage with it. If I'm in it for a reason, because I got the advantage.
Got you. Got you. What type of profits margins were you getting when you first started out? With the leasing on.
Um, Leasing, they were taking 30%, 35% of the load.
Okay.
So let's just go ahead and basic math. If I run a load that's $1,000, they're taking 350 of that before I even take out the diesel. So I did that for a little while, and I never tell people not to. That put me in a situation to have room to grow, have room to learn. But 101, business 101 is increase your profit margins.
Mm.
So I started looking at, okay, they took XYZ from me over the year, and I started looking at what they actually made off of me, and I started saying to myself, man, I know the cost associated with running trucks, and they just profited. And I'm looking at this number, and I'm like, I can keep more money if I just do this a different way. And I sat back and I started thinking, well, how do you make more money? Of course, it's running for your own for hire.
Right.
So okay, well, let me start understanding that process. And then I started finding guys that were already doing it. I started chatting them up, talking to them. Every contact that I have in trucking is because I just chatted them up. I didn't know these guys, the year before I was doing trucking. I just got into it and just learned, and got into it and just understood what was happening around me. Every avenue at this point, with these smartphones in our hands, there's no reason not to know.
Right. Right.
So
For sure. So that kind of segues us into I have the authority, right?
yeah,
Talking about the course that you're now offering. Before we get into that, I just want to talk about over the years you've given away a lot of free value and a lot of free content, a lot of free game online. You even give your statements, like the money that you're making. Why do you think it's important to show people the money and show people that inside look into your business?
I think that it's important because I want to teach people from the aspect of, when you leave my Instagram, I want you to feel like you owned a trucking business and didn't have to take the same risk.
Mm.
So often we find guys that are making money in industries, and we can't get any further information. We don't see what they're profiting. We don't see, what the carrying cost is. We don't see the process of. We know they may have had a problem. We don't know how much that problem was. I did this for the younger me. When I
Mm.
was younger, I didn't have five, six, 700, $1,000, $2,000 to spend on the course. All I had was an iPhone or a Droid and Instagram and time.
Mm.
So I did this so people can learn what's what. I used to post, and I still post all my money. So whereas I used to lease, I was posting the lease money. Now I post what my truck makes in a day, or what it made over the last 2 or 3 days, and it just shows the money behind it, because I like that transparency. You can't say I'm lying when I show you I just spent this on maintenance. When I
Right.
show you the failures of it all, but then I can show you the money, and I keep showing you the money, and I keep showing you. And it's not that I'm showing you actual dollars. I'm showing you the cutout where it says you are expected to receive this amount from this company at this date. There is no capping. There is no faking.
Right.
Yeah, I love when I'm doing business with a person to ask them, bust your books on.
There you go. There you
If you
go.
really about what you say you about, and you built all this up, show me.
I love
And it ain't
that.
that you showing me your personal bank account. You're showing me the money that's involved. You really making money doing it. So many times we got guys, and I used to go on these guys' accounts, and yeah, they're showing me what they're doing, but they're not showing me the money.
Mm.
So how do I expect to get into an industry where I don't know what it's expected to make? That's
Right.
transparency, of anything, is just being able to show people. And with my Instagram, the gift is that I can show you the least money, what it was making, and now I can show you, now that I cut them out of my pocket, now
Right.
what I'm making. So you
Right.
can see the transition. You can see if
Right.
maybe the least way was good enough for you, if you could live with that, or if you want to boss up and go all the way out. Because trucking is a tough industry. It's not made for the weak. It's not made for what's the word? The faint of heart. You know
For
what I mean?
sure. For sure. For
You
sure.
got to be tough as nails. You got to be a grinder. You got to be a hustler. You got to be quick on your feet. You got to be able to solve problems at the drop of a hat.
No doubt.
Right now, like for me, I'm 5 hours away from where I live at.
Mm.
And it's not that I never really have to travel like this. I did this because I chose to do this. It's not necessarily that I had to. You know
Right.
what I mean? For the most part, all of my equipment I never see.
Right.
They're with the drivers. The drivers may live in another state. I'm in South Florida. Freight sucks coming out of South Florida. So it would be crazy for me to run a truck from South Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I came out with the course was made to show people from the ground up. I took the perspective of just like where I was at, green. You didn't know anything.
Right.
So if you don't know what a truck is, I break that down. If you don't know, the process of insurance, I break that down. If you don't know the process of commercial financing, I break that down. If you don't know how to get tags and why you need tags, I break that down and where to go. If you don't know about your fuel tax, I break that down.
Mm.
I mean, I tried to take it from a ground up perspective because everybody has their own level of comprehension, and I wanted to capture everybody's comprehension level.
Right.
And as far as, adding the substance and the value to the community, I got guys that have bought my product and they've been driving 20 years. I got another guy 28 years. I got another guy that's been driving for 10 years. And they DM me or I get on the phone with them. They tell me, there's stuff in your course that I never even knew
Wow.
when I drive in the industry. And it's not that I didn't want to learn it, it's that I had nothing to do with that. So I didn't need to know that information.
Right.
And the boss owner, you got to know everything.
For sure.
You know?
What are some of the most frequently asked questions in your DMs? I'm just curious because I know I get some crazy ones. What are some of the most frequently asked questions?
Man, they be asking me stuff about like freight, like I'm a freight broker. Like I literally had one guy just send me a DM. I'm going from Virginia to North Carolina. How much should this stuff pay? In January, I don't know. It's gonna pay different from June than it's gonna pay in January.
Right.
Like I get questions like, "Hey man, what do you think about this truck?" It ain't what I think. What does your diesel mechanic think?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know where this truck is, and I'm an advocate of buying a truck a certain way.
Yeah.
So the way that I buy it, you might not buy it that way.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to tell you what's what. I get like just questions on because I give out a lot of free game.
Right.
I'm borderlining on, I got the course now to tell you that. So, well, what's this? What factory company are you using? What diesel cars are you using?
Right.
Where'd you pull this load off of? And I'm so much for the community that I put post up with loads that's leaving out the next day that haven't been filled. With the contact information of the agent.
Right.
So if your truck is in that area, you got your own DOT number, you can call them up. You can get that freight. Man, I am so for the people. I love my people, man. I want to see y'all learn.
No doubt.
And regardless if I can't get that money, I want you to get that money.
No doubt.
So, we all in this together. And so like the DMs I get be absolutely ridiculous. And now it's reached a point where, I fell behind about a month or two on my DMs.
Yeah.
Literally answering people DMs from like 8 weeks ago.
Right.
Not that I didn't care to get to it. It's just so much. And sometimes it's not just a one answer thing. Now what it's turning into is I can tell you, but it gets to a certain point where it's like, I used to do consultations.
Right.
Consultations just started to take up too much time. I was doing, at one point I did 15 consultations in 1 week. So, you start looking at that. If I tell you a half an hour, but I give you an hour, that's 15 hours out my week right there.
Right.
So, I started dialing back on that. And now everything is kind of building up to, you want to know that? I have it in the course.
Dope.
You're asking about that. It's in the course. And I always try to keep stuff manageable and affordable for people. I don't want to break your back. It doesn't benefit me to break your back with a course. It's more important for me to make sure I priced it accordingly for my efforts and that you're getting the information.
Dope.
And I know my product is a worthwhile product because guys that are already driving in the industry, they're making headway and they're DMing me, man. I followed exactly what you say, and I'm at this point now. And I can only tell you, I don't feel like I would have been here with what you're showing,
That's dope.
without the resource pack. I got insurance companies in there. I got places in there you can go get trailers with no credit check.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I got factoring companies that are already aware that you guys are going to be calling them. This stuff is about relationship building.
Right.
You know, and I even got one resource now that I'm not even putting on there is a guy that I met that owns his own commercial equipment brokerage.
Okay.
Deals with 50 banks. You know what I mean? So it's just about making relationships. It's important for us to socialize and network. I love when I look on my Instagram and guys are talking back and forth in the DMs, or they're talking back and forth, the comment section.
Right.
Yeah, I'm about community, bro. It's not about me. It's not about my product. It ain't about my IG. This is about us.
Yeah.
Where we going together? You know what I mean? Because if Ramel got 10 trucks, I got 3. I can go to the same person Ramel bought the other 6 trucks and get the same treatment under that relationship that they got with Ramel.
That's a fact.
And it's about the networking.
That's a fact. Why was now the time for you to drop the course? Because you've been doing this for a minute, brother, and like I said, you've been given plenty of game. You know what I mean? You're one of actually the first people. When I came on the Instagram and started like really trying to feel out the community, you're one of the first names that I noticed. You know what I mean? Why is now the time?
I came out with it because now I feel like I'm doing something that I can add a lot more value than the first way. So with the way I'm doing it, with what I'm willing to show you, and only, the thing is you can only be you, right? My flair and my spin on things and the way I can get it to you is different than the way somebody else can get it to you.
That's a fact.
And particularly with me, I feel like I'm more readily accessible. I feel like I'm more available to answer DMs. And with the type of content I'm putting out, I was receiving so many DMs on, hey, what's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? And one night I was sitting there and I said, man, I'm going to just come out with one course to show these people all of this.
Right.
That cuts down on the DMs, that cuts down on the consultations, that cuts down. After you buy a course like my course, there is no DM.
Right.
There is no console. If you don't understand it from the perspective of which I'm bringing it, you're never going to understand trucks.
For sure. And just to touch on courses, I just want to know what your perspective is on this. Because we're in like a course heavy climate where there's a lot of people who are offering, different information via courses, right? What do you say to people who are interested in buying these courses? Is there a certain mindset you have to go into purchasing these courses with? Like, what do you say to those people before they buy the course?
Date the person that you're going to buy the course for. Check them out. Check their content. I'm big on, I won't spend any money with you unless I can see the money that you're making. That's big, because anybody could tell you, they could be gassing, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm real big on just finding out what's what and understanding what's going on and just getting the further information. If you like what they're doing on Instagram, you feel like you can learn. My whole thing is if I add so much value from a free Instagram, imagine how much value I can add if you pay.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So before I do anything with a course, I watch the person. I have a habit of going all the way back to the first post they ever made.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I go back to the jump. I want to see how you transition. I'm nosy like that.
Just don't like that post from 2014. They're gonna be like, damn, he went that far back into my history.
Ain't no shame in my game, Ramel. You know me and you to talk. I like it. Click. I want to let you know I was there. I might leave a comment.
5 years ago.
I'm watching you.
Oh man, right.
I'm gonna look you up. You know what I mean? Right. I might go and see what other people are saying about your course. I might try to find somebody else who bought it and DM them and see what they're saying.
Right.
And really find out. There are great courses out there. My course is not the only course. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's great information. This is the time to learn. I get so excited about this because it's like I said, it ain't just about my course, man. It's about our people. This is about our community.
Right.
Add value. If you find somebody that's really adding value, buy the person's course. Sometimes I buy a person's course with just the want of knowing what's going on.
Right.
I'm never gonna invest in that industry. I'm never gonna, just like when I seen you in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm never probably gonna do that. I just came in there to see who was there and to hear what's going on and to support somebody who looked like me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Definitely find
No
out
doubt.
the inside information. Go all the way through their IG, visit their website, DM people that you think may have had something to do with them. Date the person. Date the person, date the person, date the person. I'm a big advocate of that. You wouldn't go start a family with somebody you don't know. And this is what it is. You're joining their family. You're joining their community. You're joining their Facebook group. You're joining their platform. You're joining their product. So, and I take people's money very serious because I understand you go to work for that money. So I'm not just going to gas you and tell you about a product if I don't feel like, because I get some people who message me and I'm hearing their mind state. I'm like, I don't think my product's going to help you.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, you don't think, no, the information is there. You just don't sound like somebody who might need to be, doing this at this point in time and whatever, you're doing. You might need to save more money. You might need to build your credit more. You might need to just improve on your knowledge more. Because I can just tell by a casual DM conversation that you may not have the mindset or the knowledge that you need to kind of survive at this level. And granted, like, I get DMs all the time from people who are like, hey, I started doing this and didn't know nothing. I just jumped out there and got my authority and I'm making it. And granted, that's the same way I started. So I never knock nobody for doing that.
Right.
I'm all about saving you time and saving you. I don't want you to get lost in YouTube land. We have a habit of sitting on YouTube for 8 hours and getting off and not knowing no more than when we started.
Got you.
So I put it all together in one big spot. Like in my course, I got 15 sections, over 3 hours of content. I got screenshots. I got, hand step-by-step video of how to get your DOT number. Screen by screen, the actual application you're going to be filling out. I just got a DM about this 2 days ago. And the guy was like, bro, I got my deal. And I posted him. I got my DOT number and I just followed the video you put up. So I love helping people, and it's worth more for me to help you than for me to get money, man. Money is short-lived. I'm going to make money, I'm going to lose money, but my name and how it carries in this community will last forever.
No doubt. That's a fact. So for people who are kind of on the fence coming from, they're leasing on their truck right now, talk about some of the advantages of just getting your own authority.
The advantages of getting your own authority is increasing your profit margin. So whereas you're going to go to a company and you see I just shot in, this my thing, right?
Yeah,
so
you didn't let me finish. You're like, oh, this is I got this. Good.
Yeah. So you're gonna go to a lease company, and granted, like a lease company handles everything for you. But to me, it always bothered me having the same truck as somebody sitting next to me, and they're making way more money off that truck than I am. Granted, leasing is a great way to start, but it's not the drop-off point or end all to me. I'm about my money. I'm about getting as much money. I bleed that truck dry. I want every drop out of it. So I started to figure the way of doing that is getting the gross number. So the gross number is exactly what they were what that load paid before they took their cut out of it. Increase your profit margins. It's not that same $1,500 load is going to pay more with your authority. Is that you can keep $1,250, $1,300 out of that load versus $875 the other way. Leasing, you might only keep $875. You get me $800 after you take your diesel out. Right. And this is about sustainability of business, cash flow, keeping yourself in the game. Why are you gonna let somebody, the same thing that they're doing for your truck, you can do for yourself.
Right.
Getting a diesel card ain't hard. With technology nowadays, covering and tracking your IFTA isn't hard.
Right.
Keeping up with your tags when you got services out there, it's not that hard to do, man. Some weeks I only do about an hour of work, if that. Like the other day I booked a load and I sat there and counted it. It took me 6 minutes. Now, granted, that's not always the case.
Right.
But I don't spend a lot of time doing this. Yeah, so now I'm in the multiples game. So whereas Monday I might have to do something with one truck, I might not have to worry about the other truck until Wednesday. So, you just got to kind of, put yourself in a position to take on what you can manage. Know what your goals are. Know what your goals are. Know that you want to own 10 trucks. Know that you want to own 15 trucks. Know you only want to stay at one truck, but you just want to make the most off that one truck. One truck, 2 trucks, 3 trucks are very manageable under the authority. You would think that it's a lot, but it's genuinely not.
Got you.
It's just that the knowledge that goes behind it is a lot. And like I always tell people, this ain't a little dog game. This a big dog game. It's big money in these trucks. These trucks cost big money to run. But if I'm going to be suffering the same repair bill if I'm leasing on, why not take on that repair bill from my own company?
Right. For
They're
sure.
going to pay it. It's not like it's going any lower.
Right. For
I
sure. For
mean,
sure. Now I dig it. So you just talked about know what your goals are. So what are your goals for
my
your
goal,
for your company?
5 to 7 trucks.
Why that number?
Because I feel like that's what I want to manage by myself. Anything outside of that, I need a dispatch company, and I'm not going to give a percent to nobody.
Totally against it?
I'm not totally against it, but at the end of the day, if I could do it myself, why not? Dispatching a truck isn't hard to do.
Okay.
I mean, with the load boards the way it is, with these automated apps, I mean, I'm not against paying somebody.
Right.
But if I could keep doing it on my own, I will do it on my own. That's less money I got to worry about. Only thing I have to worry about is insurance, diesel costs, and paying the driver right now. And keeping money aside for the truck blow up.
Right.
You know what I mean? If something happened with the tires or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
I really got an easygoing operation, man. And I want to tell you like it's difficult, but people make stuff out to be more difficult than it really is.
Dope. Got you. What do you look for when you're on the load boards in terms of freight?
I look at lanes, what cities running to what cities, what the freight's looking like on the return, how much it's paying, how many of those like loads that I can run that week. I look at a multitude of things on the load board. So and it's also dealing with specific situations. What am I trying to accomplish? Am I just trying to run the truck to get to a certain point so my driver could get a break? Am I trying to run for money?
Right.
Am I trying to, I got a thing. I'm religious about $1,000 a day. If you can manage $1,000 a day gross, you're gonna make money. It's all on how you dispatch your truck. If you're gonna dispatch it over days, you have to almost be at those. If you're gonna do 2 days on a load, it got to be $2,000. Because now we're getting back to at least $1,750 for me. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna tie you up for 2 days, because then I could have ran one load that was 1,000 and go pick up another load that was 1,000. So that's my 2,000 gross right there. So, I mean, it's just multiple strategies. What are you going for? Are you just running? What areas of the country do you like to run? And it's hard for me to tell people how, because I get that question all the time. Like I got one guy that GM me, man, I'll pay you just to show me how to dispatch a truck. Just sit on Zoom with me for 2 days and show me what you're doing.
Right.
It's just so many different things that goes on with that.
Different variables.
Yeah, different variables. It's hard for me to tell you one way when the other way may work for you.
Got you. You're a father, correct?
Yes, sir. I got 2 of them.
Two kids.
2 girls.
2 girls. Dope. That's perfect, man. Because in light of what just happened with the great Kobe Bryant,
yeah.
And I know this is off trucking, but I just thought about it because I believe you told me you was a father, and I'm a father as well of 2 girls. How did that impact you?
The loss of Kobe and his daughter. It made me.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
It made me, it gave me that perspective of sitting back and just valuing all the time I have with them. Because you never know when it's going to be your last day. I teach my girls a lot, and they know I own trucks. I teach them, like, I always say to my daughter, what's the deal? And it's not like, what's the deal to say, like, what's up? No, what's the deal that we made? What's our verbal binding contract? I told you I would do this, and you told me you would do that. So that's our contract right now. I'm getting them in a business mind state. So, what I took away from that is just spend as much time as possible with them. And just love them, man. Love them, man. I'm a single father, and I always say I do my father in 4 days out the week because, of course, I got split custody. But, I do the best that I could do. I give them my all. They are my future. They are what I'm doing this for. They are, the reason of. And teach them business sense. My daughter knows she can't come ask me for $1. You have to provide a service or a product. And her product is selling me a toy. So
that you bought it.
Yeah, right. I bought it. But look, you want this $1, you're going to work for this $1 because they never life for free. And if you go on my Instagram, I got my daughters on my Instagram and they set up a toy store.
That's
I
dope.
talk to
That's
them
dope.
about perks. I talk to them about how to reel in customers. One selling one thing, the other one selling another thing. She's giving free samples. What are you giving? If I
Right.
return this, can I upgrade to a newer model? You know what I
Right.
mean? What's your
Right.
profit margin? How much did you buy this for versus how much you selling this? And I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I'm talking to them like this.
That's
It's never
dope.
too early, man. It's never too early. And us as being, black fathers, and us as having our children and our families, man, foundation is everything for
Mm.
for your family. And the type of businessman you are relates to the type of father you're gonna be. If
Okay.
you're a snake, if you're not doing it, if you're not following up, you're gonna slack on that father. And this is my opinion.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is my opinion, but
Yeah.
it may not be accurate, but it's just how I feel. Guys who tend to have great families are great businessmen, and it's
Mm.
because they're diligent. They're passionate. They're very on the money about everything. I'm a man of being a man of my word. If I told you I'm gonna be there at 4 a.m. in the snow, that's where I'm gonna be.
Mm.
You ain't got to look for me. You ain't got to call me. Just like this interview, right? You told me 2 o'clock. I text you at 1:50, even though I knew I was doing something. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right. Right.
I'm
You was
5 hours
on
from home. I got to drive back home today,
it.
and I'm sitting up here, with the mechanic with other people's trucks up here.
Yeah.
And it's just, be operate on attention, man. I intend on networking. I intend on getting the word out, and I intend on just loving people through this industry, and we could just all grow.
No doubt. No doubt. I love that, man. I love that. Dope. Super dope. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Where do I see myself in the next 5 years, man? I had them 7 by then. That's 7 trucks that'll come. You know,
Okay.
um, just maintaining, running the industry. I might get into different types of freight just for interest,
Okay.
because you can't do one thing forever. You always got to try to expand. But doing that, maybe building out like the digital course,
Okay.
building out the Instagram, and just furthering my reach with my people, and extending the reach that I have through Instagram.
Dope. Dope. What you just do general freight now, right? For the most part?
Yeah, I do box. I do the dry van, 53
Drive in.
foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dope. 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 All right. So this is probably like the part of the show where we kind of start wrapping things up.
Okay.
Been a really dope interview with you, man. I
Man,
really
I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
But before we wrap things up, I always ask my guests to kind of give a final thought. Something that we can leave with the people, a final jewel. Whether it be spiritual, mental, whatever, just a final jewel to leave them with, and then obviously let them know where they can connect with you and where they can find the course. I have the authority.
All right. So my final gem is going to be genuine. Don't forget to love each other. Don't forget to learn from each other. Don't be scared to network with each other, because we were all a tribe at one. You
Mm,
know what I mean? It isn't all about this person getting 10 trucks and I only got 1 truck. It's that we got 11 trucks now. That's how we should have that mind state. You know what I mean?
no doubt.
And always just reach out, reach back for people. Just because I'm here with 3 trucks doesn't mean I can't talk to the guy that just have the thought of getting his 1 truck. He just got that this morning. I never limit who I'm going to talk to. And if you see me out and you see me networking, don't be afraid to shake my hand, introduce yourself to me. And just a tidbit on where to find the course. I have the Authority Trucking course. It teaches you how to obtain your own DOT number, how to run your own for-hire transportation system, and run your own companies. And I go through systems. I go through insurances. I go through commercial equipment. It's a one-stop shop. You do this one product, you won't need nothing else. It'll get you started. It'll get you rolling. It'll get you moving. What this does is get you to further knowledge. And
Mm,
that's the most important. I take more pride in getting a DM that I learned something from you than getting a email saying I made money from you.
mm,
You know what I mean?
dope.
And you can find my Instagram, which is Truckin Justin, as you can see from the shirt.
I
Truckin
have the
Justin.
authority. That's it.
I have the
I
authority.
love that
Of
name too,
course.
by the way. That's a dope name because it's
Yeah.
kind of like a double entendre. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
if you a boss,
Yeah,
you got the
yeah,
authority, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I want to
yeah,
show to people.
yeah,
And you got your own DOT number, which is your authority anyway. But you can go to my Instagram at Truckin Justin. I got over 2 years of content on there. You can learn the industry. You can go through all of my posts. You can see maintenance bills. If you don't know what a load board looks like, I got that up there. If you don't know what a bill of lading looks like, I got that up there. I even have like the interaction between me and my drivers.
Okay.
You can click the link. You can go to the product. You can check that out, and you can see everything that's in there. On top of, you've already heard what I've told you is in there. It's 15 parts. It's over 3 hours of content. I really wanted to provide something that I wanted to see when I was starting.
Dope.
And on top of that, the cost isn't gonna kill you. You know what I mean? So I really tried to do something that was for our people.
No doubt. No doubt. I love it. By the way, the name Truckin Justin, where'd that name come from? I that was supposed to be in the beginning of the interview, but I just thought about it. Talk to me about the name.
I'm Justin, and I truck, man. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, Truckin Justin, that thing go together like sliced bread, like butter on bread. That's smooth.
So you came up with it, or did somebody get somebody? You came up with it. Nobody gave it to you.
I came up with it, and then I started running it by people, and they were like, you know what, man, that's not a bad name, man. And like people in conversation would be like, hey, man, you always trucking, man. You always trucking. That's all you ever talk about. That's all you do. I've studied this like I'm going for a PhD. Submerge yourself. Submerge yourself. There's nothing moving in this industry that I ain't read about, talked about, or seen. Before some of these companies go out of business, I'm already aware of their lawsuits. Just because I read up on it, man. I read up on market analysis, and I post that stuff. I post what freight's doing that week. You know what I mean? Hey, but before I get off, I'm gonna tell you something. Hold on. I'm in the field, man.
Right.
I'm in the field. This is what I do. I'm here. I run trucks. I'm about trucks, and I always try to stay on top of everything, man. Never be afraid to leave the house. Never be afraid to take a drive. So, Ramel, man, I love what you're doing. You connect all of us, brother. You connect all of us, and like I'm gonna tell y'all, Ramel was patient with me, and Ramel wanted to have me on the show like 6 months ago, and I was just going through like a detox of Instagram. I was spending 6-7 hours on it, and because it was taken away from my ability to learn about the industry, I started to say, which is more important, me learning this business or me sitting on Instagram? Right. So he was patient with me. Y'all guys got to big up Ramel, Truck and Hustle, and listen to the podcast, man. I listen to the podcast. I always like to hear different aspects, and I love what Ramel's doing, guys. He's the glue. He connects all of us.
I appreciate that so much, man. And I've done this show very intentionally to do exactly what's happening right now, man. Just seeing everybody connect is just beautiful. You know what I mean? Like we're all from different worlds. We all do different things, have different background, but we have commonalities that bring us together. And just to see what's happening in this trucking community, it's really amazing, man. It's like we're really starting. We're starting a fire right now. You know what I mean? We're starting a fire.
And I'm gonna tell you, right? It's infectious, right? It's contagious because, like, I got guys reaching out to me and putting me in contact with guys that are on YouTube that got 30, 40, 50,000 followers, and I'm just like, I'm like, what's up? Like, you want me to meet this person? And it's like, man, you're so passionate about what you do, and I see what you're doing, and they go to my Instagram, they see what I'm putting out. And it's like, man, you're adding so much value to the community. I just love what you're doing. You'd be surprised what people will do for you when they see that you cheat.
That's 100%. You're right. That's 100%, man. Like, and Packy in our interview, when I interviewed Packy and his wife and Sandy, man, that was the advice that they gave me. I was really fresh in this game.
You ain't say that right. That's the big homie Pac. You know what I mean?
Listen, the big homie. You know what I'm saying? The big homie Pac. Yo, he told me, he was like, listen, man, I don't know I don't remember the exact words, but in so many words, he said, if you do what you do, passionately, you do it with good intention, everything, just do it, and everything's gonna come to you. You don't got to look for nothing. This is gonna come to you.
And I'm gonna tell you guys something, and I want you to like keep this in the interview, right? When we talk about adding value to the community, it isn't just about trucks, right?
Right.
I learned a lot about how to be a better father by Pac. I learned a lot about God and religion and just sustaining and staying stable through the storm of life. I learned about investments. I learned about just how to be kind and good to people. And it isn't just about trucks, man. We got to learn that from the people that we're dealing with. If a person in your life don't make you want to be a better person and teach you things that you can see, because in our community, there really isn't a lot of black men that you could look at and admire in that sense, right?
Right.
I'm telling you that that's a person that I'm thankful to God came in my life.
Yes.
He helped me be a better father. He helped me understand finances better. He helped me understand the process to do a business better. He seen something in me that was just an amber, and he
Yes.
took it and blew on it, man. He
Yes.
blessed it, and he helped it become a flame, you know.
Yes.
And a big part of why I post about my trucks was because of Pop. He was talking, and Pop was like, "Hey, you got to start showing people, man, what your trucks is doing.
Yeah.
You got to start, showing people, our people what this is about.
Right.
Like, look what you're doing. Like, you did this number with your truck. I think it was like I had did like 3-4 G's. He was like, man, hold on, you got to show the people this, and man, you just got to be thankful for those who take the time to slow down and talk
Yeah.
to you
Yeah.
and take the time to slow down. When I met them, it was just through IG, and I met them at their 19th wedding anniversary party.
Okay.
Come on, that's my first time coming up there, and they invite me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Ramel, like, you see how genuine people are, man, and you
Oh
can just
man.
read that. And this is why I really home in on this with our people. Be genuine.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna be genuine, it's okay just not to talk, because you ain't got that in your spirit. But
Right.
I witnessed something that was holy and something that blessed the world.
Yeah.
And by way of that, now I want to turn around and bless the world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I do,
So,
man. I do. And I tell people all the time, I big Hood Estates up so much, man, because even with my platform, they are the first, that really came and that had a large, massive following and just blessed my show and say, yo, we stamping what you doing. And
yeah.
ever since then, the trajectory has just been,
And
upwards.
something that I feel like we got to get out of, as far as being like guys that are like the leaders of this transportation movement on IG. We don't big each other up. We don't, you know what I mean, dog? You seen my Instagram? I've reposted you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I put
100%.
you out there, and it's not that people get caught up in the politics, brother. We should get caught up in the love. We are the same.
100%.
When we get pulled over, they don't see no difference between me and you.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? When we walk in the store, they don't see no difference between me and you. We got to get out of that politics, man. And if you got something that somebody else is doing that you like, what is it? To repost them. What is it? Just to show some love, brother, because we are all in the same boat.
That's a fact.
Regardless if you up here and I'm down here, we all on this ship of life going together. So it's just important, man. I'm genuine, man. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
still a fool about it. I'm in love with my people. You know what
Yo,
I mean? So,
same here, brother. Well, you keep on doing what you're doing. Don't ever stop that, because you're gonna be blessed for it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be
thank you.
blessed.
Yeah.
You have been blessed, and you will continue to be blessed for it. So, people like us, we don't come around very often, so we have to stick together.
Yeah.
And when we first connected, it was real. It's been real ever since. And I don't know where this is gonna take us, but we're gonna keep on building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I definitely love what you're doing. And the same here, man. Like you said, man, support each other, man. Take 2 seconds to repost somebody, to share, to comment. Just support each other, man. That's what this is about, man.
Yeah, it's about us sticking together, because every other demographic of people are sticking together.
That's a fact.
You never see the Asian people that come together and they don't put on their cousin. You don't see the Spanish people not put on their cousin. We all cousins. You know what I'm saying? We're the only demographic of people that won't share the information. So granted, I give out a lot of information for free. Now I got a course.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get you the information.
Yeah.
If you do something that I like, I'm never scared to repost it. You see, I reposted somebody the other day with the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He not reposting me.
Right.
But at the same time, I appreciate the brother and I like what he's doing.
That's a fact. And that's important too. Don't do things expecting things from other people. Don't do things with that mindset and that heart. You do things because you want to do it, and whatever happens after that, it is what it is. You just do it because that's the right thing to do.
And it's like your trucking hustle, brother. I done seen you. Remember, like, I think you reached out to me, and I remember you just had like the plane logo.
Yeah.
I see the work you put into it. I see the banners. I see the thumbnails. I see, brother, you putting in work. Why won't I? You know what I mean? That's the same as these two hands working.
Right.
That's the admiration I take for that.
Right.
We got to start supporting each other, man. I'm very transparent because I just want y'all to see it. So, and I'm going to drop it off right there, man. That's my tidbit. Don't forget to love each other. Don't forget to talk to each other. We so antisocial. I don't know if that's, just from the neighborhoods we grew up in or what, but, my original starting point is Miami, so I could get it growing up around a rough, messed up area. You scared to socialize and talk to people. But you got to get out there, man. You got to get out there and just talk, man, and just love each other and push forth that energy and push forth that love, push forth that frequency of caring, and watch it grow. You know? So.
I love it. I don't think there's any better way to end off than on that note. My brother Truckin, Justin, yo, it was such a pleasure meeting you the other day. Now we get to do this, and this is going to be a live one. It's going to be epic. Y'all make sure that y'all tap into Justin, Truckin Justin, if you're not already, because I'm sure everybody already knows who you are. But if you're not already, make sure you tap into my brother, and we going to keep on doing it, man. Keep on putting on for this community.
I appreciate you, Ramel.
No doubt, my brother. All right, man. Be easy.
All right. Peace.
Later.
If you like what you heard, it's only going to get better. Make sure you subscribe and leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to learn or hear more about. Till next time, love is love. Truck and hustle.